What's up, guys and gals? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest behind-the-bar reviews for One Piece. One Piece chapter 966. Let's get underway here. And yes, as you guys can tell, this review is actually really late. But is it really? Yeah, it is. It's late, but it's not as late as you guys think. Yes, did we have fan translations, back on Friday and stuff, but with everybody being shut down with Jamimi Box and, or Jaimimi's Box, whatever they call it, and Manga Stream and a bunch of these other translator sites being shut down, I'm going to take the attitude of, even though apparently nobody seemed to follow it, Roger's Base, Tagging 101, King of Lightning, Joy Boy, those guys, I'm going to take, the upfront. I'm going to, that's not the right word, the frontier, I guess. I'm going to help lead that charge. That, let's wait for official Viz. Viz is free now. You can read it on your phone for free. You search Viz and the chapter, and you'll get it on Sunday, like everybody else. I read this chapter not legally when it first dropped, but then after I realized that everything was down and stuff, I said, you know what? The hype for my own personal use is one thing, but I should release my reviews on Sunday. Sunday got hectic. I saw Star Wars, that kind of stuff. So instead, I'm bringing this to you now on Monday, December 23rd. Wonderful. Merry Christmas, everybody. So, this chapter, though. Yeah. This chapter. So, Scar Gabon is apparently as strong, or at least third strong, like sort of a Sanji here, at the very bare minimal. Sanji fans are going to hate me for that. But he's at the level he's in the bracket with Rayleigh and Roger. Because Roger even says, I wouldn't want my two best men to get hurt. So that's something here, because Rayleigh and Gabon, they're kind of like, yeah, let's stop this stuff. Because basically Odin rushes head full on, like, let's attack. And everyone's like, you don't understand, the Roger pirates are, and Odin starts wiping through them because he's goddamn Odin. Rayleigh and Gabon, they're kind of like, yeah, okay, I think we need to put an end to this guy. Here's the crazy samurai we all heard about, And they're ready. Gabon's got dual axes. Dual wielding is always the best. So Gabon is there. Dual axe ready to go. Rayleigh's like, yeah, this is basically a Shanks sword, but I don't care. I'm going to basically, and Roger doing a very Luffy thing, like, hey, guys, what's going on? I wouldn't want you guys to get hurt. Let me take a crack at him. And they're just kind of like, you just want to fight. Why don't you just say that? And fight he does, because Odin comes up to him, and Roger's just like, and Odin is thrown back. This is some Link sword slashing sword, gets a good Tensho sort of beam, boom, and just throws everyone back. This is some wind scar, sort of idea, right? And just boom, blows them all back. And Odin seems to take damage. It seems like he's coughing up a little bit of blood there. He's like, wait a minute, what's going on? He's like, hey, I gotta ask you something, man. And then we see Whitebeard. He's like, huh. And we see Roger like, and just Conqueror hockey up. Boom. And the black electricity is just like, and you can feel the weight of this thing, and it's just pulsating. Their sword and Bicento, respectively, aren't even bloody well touching. And Odin recognizes this and goes, they aren't even touching. So, even though we saw Odin clash with Whitebeard, Conqueror hockeyed up, bang and stuff, these are two characters on the level. We all thought Odin was on that Whitebeard tier, and he's in the tier. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shit on Odin. Odin is awesome. I love this Odin flashback. People who don't, weird. But, gotta say that this goes to show you that Roger and Whitebeard, and by this logic, Garp and Sengoku, are up here. They're just that one. They're that one step above. They're in the tier, but you have the strongest in the tier. Like Rayleigh is clearly in that tier. Maybe even Gabon is in that tier. Rayleigh is in that tier. But is he Roger or Whitebeard? No, probably not. As much as I love Rayleigh, I don't think he's on that tier. Or he's in the tier, not on the level, whatever. Because we see it here, like their force is so powerful that their clash stops before they can actually connect blades. And then they're just kind of like, you haven't aged at all. Yeah, neither of you. How many years has it been, Newgate? He's like, give me all your treasure and leave. Wah! And then Whitebeard Pirates, Roger Pirates. 3 days of fighting. 3 straight days. Do they skip it? Of course they do. Once again, guys, this ain't Roger's story. It ain't Whitebeard's story. We're seeing a past arc. We're not going to see a full-out fight. If you expect that, I can think of a lot of words that begin with S and B and a few other words that might describe you. Because stop it. Stop expecting to see Roger in a full-out Luffy-style fight. Roger is not the main character. Whitebeard isn't the main character. Odin is not the main character. These people are not even Straw Hats. You will see full-on fights with the Straw Hats. Nothing else, bar maybe a Mihawk. Like, we actually saw Ace versus Blackbeard for a while, more than just one single clash. You know, so that's the thing. So we might see a Mihawk Shanks flashback, a couple of blows in their fight. But if at this point in the story, do not expect to see anyone outside of a Straw Hat in a full-on fight start to finish. If you can accept that and move on, you'll enjoy One Piece way more than a lot of people have been. So, either way, they start clashing 3 days and 3 nights. It ends up being a Christmas gift exchange. Ironic, you know, the Christmas season. It's basically a gift exchange. Rarely even notices, like, okay. So, they clash against each other. They smack their swords against each other for 3 days. And then a ceasefire was called. So, they're just all chilling out sort of idea, right? Now, this is where we see Teach talking about Shanks and Buggy, being like, are they apprentices? Like, yeah, they're apprentices. Said, well, what's their deal? And it's like, they're still apprentices, but they got a man's attitude sort of idea, right? And then we hear Buggy talk to Shanks about the dude in the hat being Teach. Apparently he doesn't sleep. Now, there's a huge connection thing where we saw Oda draw Blackbeard in this young form, and it was snowing outside, and potentially he's from a snow country, and Luffy brought up that some guy in a bar told him that people from snow countries don't sleep. We saw that back in the Wapple arc, in that whole, with the Chopper and Dr. Kureha and stuff. We saw that in that arc, right? That, I forget what that is. What is that island called? Damn. Anyways, pretty much that's what they're referring to, and people are like, here's the conclusion, the foreshadowing was there. They assume the person in the bar talking to Luffy was Shanks or one of Shanks' crew. That is possible. This could be a connection, but I'm not going to run wild with it. I'm just going to say, okay, so apparently he doesn't sleep. Apparently he's a monster or something like that. That's what Buggy says. Shanks is just kind of like, yeah, that'd be great. If he didn't have to sleep, he could do twice as much stuff. I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. That would be pretty cool. I'm of the Shanks mindset here. After this, though, we jump over to the next part of the chapter. And this part is where I think we're coming to the close of this flashback. I really do believe there was a quote. It might not actually be from Oda. I saw it on my Discord. It may or may not be true. But Oda basically said he needs to end this flashback really, really soon because he might slip up and end up actually revealing the One Piece. Ha ha ha. But I think this is a actual concern of his, is that he's showing so much, more than he has ever shown for the past characters, for the Whitebeard, for the Roger, for the Teach, for the Shanks, that he's worried that he might actually slip up and reveal something or show a clue that's too right there in front of you to lead to the conclusion, and he doesn't want that. So he's like, I'm going to wrap this up soon. Okay, so if that's true, that makes sense that he's in the thrall. He's in the hype along with the rest of us, and he would feel this way. So, yeah. Next part of the chapter, we seem to be jumping forward a little bit. If nothing else, is this chapter not absolutely fantastic? We have Roger explaining all about reaching the final island of Lodestar, but that is, or Roadstar, depends on the R's and L's in Japanese, are really weird. But no, that's not the final island. And Roger's like, no. 13 years ago, he conquered the Grand Line. He didn't reach the final island, but you could, for all intents and purposes, say that Roger conquered the world with the exception of Laugh-Tale, the last island. That's it. Everything else he has seen and done. 13 years ago, before he had 1 year left to live. That's impressive as hell. Now we know that Nekomamushi and Inarashi do not actually go to Laugh-Tale. So at some point, because we see in this flashback that they joined the crew along with Odin, so they did sail with Roger for a time, but they must reach again to Zo or Wano or somewhere where everybody gets dropped off. We see that Izo stayed with Whitebeard at this time, because pretty much Roger explains, like, you can read this. He has the poneglyphs. He has the map. But when he reached the final island and they thought we can reach it, he goes, yeah, but there was nothing there. There wasn't, or he doesn't say there wasn't anything there. He says in multiple translations, he says it was clear to us that there was one more place. So that doesn't mean that Lodestar has nothing there, that it has no secrets. It means that it clearly indicates there's one more spot to go. Now, some people, if we didn't know about Laugh-Tale, some people might say the moon, where Eneru is. But no, apparently it is an actual island. So the poneglyphs are supposed to point to it. Roger has figured this all out, and he's like, Odin, you can read this? He goes, yes, but why do you have this? This is a Kazuki-only thing. And they kind of put two and two together, and he goes, but there are 4 special. You thought these were ancient relics. The world government doesn't want us to read these. But the reason is there must be something there. There must be some form of treasure. And this is going to lead us there. If we collect the rubbings of all 4, we will know how to get there. And so he basically says, and then the thing that's never been done before, the conquering of the Grand Line, not even that, the conquering of the entire world, the globe, will be under our belts. We will have succeeded. We will have traversed every spot in the world. And he says, and then I'll be ... Odin and Whitebeard shocked. Whitebeard in the next panel calls him, are you a little boy, Roger? And they're laughing, but Odin is shocked by this. If he had said, King of the Pirates, like Luffy did before, wouldn't have taken away from the flashback. Would have been accepted. And I would have been fine with it. Oda chose to not reveal what Roger said, then I'll become. If it was Pirate King, there is so much of me. There is a good 80% of me, even more maybe, saying, no, he did not say Pirate King. He said something else. Something that shocked Whitebeard and Odin, and then Whitebeard laughed at. I wouldn't see Roger saying anything like, I'll become the god of, like an Eneru thing. So what did he say? What did he... I don't know. What could Roger have possibly said? I haven't even seen very many theories on this with anything of what Roger said. I know the chapter's only been out for officially a day and a little bit longer for fan translations, but I'm waiting to see the theories. I'm waiting to see what people are saying because I have no clue. King sounds pretty good. Does God sound better? Yeah, but Roger doesn't strike me as a person to say he's going to become a god. That's egotistical and too far removed from what we know of Roger. It's too much Eneru. It's too cocky. It just doesn't fit. So what did he tell them? And what made Odin sit back after that and say, this man, I was frozen. And we see more of his journal, and basically he decides, after Roger, after this moment, says, Whitebeard, I got a favor to ask you. Newgate, loan me Odin for 1 year. You give me 1 year with him, and I will be able to do this, because Odin can read these things. I can't. Nobody can. But he can. So they make the connection. He's like, and he bows to Odin and says, please come with me. Odin's like, raise your head, raise your head. This isn't right. You're embarrassing yourself. Whitebeard is like, you dare want to take one of my family? We see what the Gura used to be able to do, and it's like, that wave at Marineford was nothing compared to what he can do. Brian Whitebeard, it goes to show you, the old generation was stronger than this new one. Sorry to say, guys. The old generation is just far stronger. They would kick the shit out of the new Admirals and the new Supernovas and the new Yonko and all them. They would win. Old generation Prime versus current generation, they lose. They just lose straight up. But after this, we see that Odin goes to Whitebeard and basically says, listen, I think I need to go with Roger. It doesn't mean that we're not brothers. I will come back. It's only a year sort of idea. Whitebeard makes the face that, makes the face, and that we've all come to, like, love. I can't even do that. Like, no, I can't put my lip up and do the frown thing at the same time. I can't do it. But pretty much that's what happens. Whitebeard gets pissed about the whole thing, and you feel like Whitebeard would do this for Whitey Bay and everybody else that eventually left the crew. And, I mean, they're still part of the Whitebeard crew, in a sense, or the Whitebeard family, but they went off on their own. They're not on the Moby Dick anymore. We can see that probably Whitebeard had this reaction for a lot of people. Now, Odin said, I will leave for a year. Roger asks for the year. They go with them. The crew is a little unaccepting of them at first, but it only takes a few days for them to be like, yeah, Odin, you're our man. If you can't do it, no one can. Go, Odin. Also make us some Odin. So that's kind of the joke there. And it's really good. Nekomamushi and Arashi, as I said, show up on the ship, has stowaways. Izo stays behind on Whitebeard's crew, and they decide to go forth. We find out from Crocus this is when Roger figures out he's only got a year left to live. Odin's like, wait, what? And basically Roger said, well, then we got no time to lose. I only borrowed you for a year, and I've only got a year left anyways. That means that they must have conquered from this point right here. They had to conquer it, go finish this problem, go to Raftel or Laugh-Tale, and then have the conversation with Roger and Whitebeard back in, it appears to be Wano, and this is seeming much more likely. Roger and Whitebeard would meet back up in Wano where he drops Odin off. They talk. They have their conversation. Roger then surrenders himself and has enough time, because if he's only got roughly a year to live, they still need to do all this work. Potentially, he already has all 4 road or the red poneglyphs. He already got the 4 road poneglyphs, right? Maybe. Clearly has a couple or knows of them, but we don't know. Like, he's basically only got, I would say, a maximum of 10 months he managed to do this. It might be less. I might have missed where they actually talk about that, but he's got very little time to do this. He manages, it seems, to pull it off. They go up to Sky Island. They read all about Poseidon. Odin reads it, and this is where we see finally, he said the voice talked to him, and he knows that the road poneglyph. So we see a little more in-depth about the voices of all things. Speaking to him, telling him, like, this poneglyph, so he can't get a direct translation into his head, similar to Luffy and stuff. We already suspected this. Confirmed here that he knows the rough idea. This poneglyph talks about an ancient weapon, but he doesn't know the details of what it talks about. He just knows the general idea. Kind of like reading a summary without knowing the full plot, if that makes sense. You read a summary, but you don't know, you know the key actors, and you know the premise better. That's a better word. He knows the premise of what it says, but he doesn't know the plot. He doesn't know the summary. Odin can read the summary. So he reads it, and then I thought this, like, the stone couldn't be destroyed and all that stuff, so I know the Kazukis are there, but this also means that Odin has the capacity to be able to carve this stuff. I thought this stuff was made out of the material. I could be wrong here, and I might be shooting myself in the foot for the last minute of this video, But I thought this stone was made out of something that only the Smiths of Wano knew how to use. And Odin, of course, is from Wano and his royalty and stuff, so it makes sense. I'm not against it, but this speaks volumes that Odin can do it. It's not like, oh man, I was born in Wano, so now I can do this. That's not how it works. It was under the impression that this took master level work to be able to do this, and Odin seems to be able to not only read and write the language, but be able to carve something in to the impenetrable, the things that cannot be destroyed. I would like to see Kaido try to smack one of these things. Like, can they be destroyed? Because it's pretty apparent that no one has, and they survive pretty much everything. So I'd like to see that. Really cool. That's where he left his message. That's where we saw it taken off from the Skypiea arc with Roger and stuff like that, and Robin reading it and realizing everything. So big deal there. Are we going to end the flashback here? I think we got one more chapter. One more chapter, and then we jump back to Wano. I think we have one more remaining, but what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. This has been Griever. Merry Christmas Eve to all you guys out there who celebrate Christmas and girls who celebrate Christmas. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification if you guys want to know every single time I drop a video. And the Discord link is down in the description box down below. So if you guys want to join, if you know what Discord is, we talk, we chat. It's not super active, but it is a place that we all hang out. So if you want to discuss more about One Piece or One Punch Man or Seven Deadly Sins or anything, Star Wars for God's sakes, anything you guys want to talk about, I'm sure there's somebody in there who shares your passion for another fandom. So that being said, I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas if I don't see it. And thanks so much for watching. This has been a pretty good year for me, starting up the new channel and stuff. It was a roller coaster and stuff, but I seem to be on the up and up. So thank you guys so much for watching. 200 something subscribers is just great right now. I didn't really think I'd reach this far this quickly, and I'm really happy about it. It seems like by next year I'll be into the 300s. Sometime middle of next year, if the pace keeps going the way it's going. I'll be really happy to see that. So anyway, enough of me babbling on. So once again, Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates, and a Happy New Year if I don't see you guys. And yeah, this has been One Piece, chapter 966, review, Behind the Bar Reviews with your host, Griever, as always. Drink responsibly. See you next time.